Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Caleb here. And so last week I made a video about, how much designer are making at Google. And then I realized that a lot of you guys are still struggling to find work, and especially some of you guys went to a design school and graduated a few years back and still don't get a job right now. And I totally understand, how frustrating this whole thing can be, right? Spending a lot of money in school, but then don't get any result back. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about why is it some designers are very struggling with this whole design thing, and some other designers are really thriving and they're getting all the work, and what is the reason behind all this, right? Like, what is the difference between these two group of people? And there's one big concept that I'm gonna put it out there, and that is really my personal view on this whole thing is, like to be a designer that actually find work or be financially successful, you have to treat your career like a business and not treat your career like an artist. So that is the main difference in my mind, that like the two main things that people are doing, right? Some they treat it like an artist, some they treat it more like a business. But you may wonder now, like, what did you mean by treating my career like a business, right? How can I be more like a business, and what is the whole thing about? So right now, I want you guys to change your kind of your mindset, or your concept, or whatever you see this thing into a business perspective, right? Like, just think about yourself as a business owner. And right now you have a product to sell to other people, right? Right now you have something that you would like to other people to buy. And there's a business term is called product market fit. And that is a thing that all the business owner out there, they would like to achieve product market fit. And if you don't know what product market fit means, just go to Google, and that is what it means, right? On Google, it says that product market fit, product or market fit, also known as product market fit, is the degree to which a product satisfies a strong market demands. And that is really the whole thing about product market fit. It's a strong demand for your products, for whatever you're trying to sell. But right now, you may wonder, right? Like what kind of product are you talking about, right? Like, I'm definitely a designer. I'm not building products. Like, I'm not selling anything physically. But what I'm saying is that even if you're a designer, you are still selling a product. So think about your product is your portfolio, right? What do you do when you go to a job interview? Like, what do you do when you meet a client, right? You will show them your portfolio, and you show them that this is the work that I do, and this is how I produce this kind of work. And then the work is basically the product that you're trying to convince them to buy, which is to hire you to do this work, right? So you're selling a product, but your product is really your work. So without the product market fit is why a lot of businesses fail. And without the product market fit that's why a lot of designers don't get work, right? Because you just don't have the market fit. Like, your product, the work doesn't have a demand out there. There's no demand for your work. That's why you don't get job, right? So now if you wonder, like, how can I actually get product market fit? How can I get a high demand for my work? Then you really have to look into your portfolio and then compare to the top 10 designers on Dribbble, right? These guys on Dribbble, they already have achieved product market fit, right? This is the design that has very, very strong demand for whatever they do, right? People pay a lot of money for this kind of work. So if you wonder if you have a product market fit, doesn't matter if you are a local designer, illustrator, or UI and UX designer, you can compare yourself to the top 10 on Dribbble and see that how far are you from this kind of thing, right? So, like, how close or how far are you from this, and you can know that if you have a product market fit or not. So there's a designer that I would like to introduce to you guys, and her name is called Joanna. And I worked with Joanna about like 2 years ago, and I hired her for some logo work. Actually, no, some illustration work. And she's an illustrator, and she's very, very talented. You can definitely tell from her work that you can see this kind of stuff on a lot of magazine and Facebook even. And that is the client that she's working with right now, right? She definitely outpriced whatever I was able to pay her before, because she's just a lot more successful than when I worked with her for, right? So, like, that is what she does right now. But I mean, if you go to, and also she does illustration as well, animation as well. And if you go to her Instagram, right, you can see that is the stuff that she does. But then if you scroll all the way back to maybe like a couple of years ago, you can see that she does something very different. And that is the painting, the drawing, like that, right? She used to do a lot of this kind of work. And when I was working with her, I basically just asked her, right? I was like, yo, like, I really love this kind of thing. Can I pay you to draw something like this, right? And she's like, I don't do a lot of this kind of thing anymore, because there's just not a strong market demand out there. I cannot like find a lot of client for this kind of work, so there's not a strong market demand. And then she had to pivot herself to doing something that is a bit more modern, like this kind of astromagic art or like this kind of illustration style, right? Once when she pivot, then there's a demand coming in, right? Because this is what people are buying for, and that she just has an abundance of work right now. She's just like, I can't even take enough work, because once you change and she achieved kind of like a product market fit, that's what I would like to talk about, right? Like once when you achieve a product market fit, then you have the product that people will like to buy. And now you may wonder, after this product market fit thing, so I have a product market fit out there right now. People like my work. How do I sell it? So I think the selling portion of running a business is, very, very important as well, right? Like even if you have a good business, a good, product to sell, then if you don't know how to sell it, then that is not no good as well, right? So I think the product sales is very important portion about, running your successful career like a business, right? So another designer that I'm gonna introduce to you guys is called Gareth. And Gareth is a designer that I mentored about a year ago. And he doesn't really have a lot of work to show. And basically what I recommended him to do is to, partner with some founder for free and to build a portfolio. And that is what he did, right? And since then, he has a lot more work coming in, and that is not the only thing that drives the success of Gareth, right? Like he has like a lot of work right now, but I believe what makes him very successful is that he has a strong message behind all of these things, and that is the sales portion of his work, right? So if you go to his portfolio and let's just learn something together, right? Like I don't even do this for myself, and just learn from Gareth. And if you look at that, right, you can see that, I help early stage founders or startup, and then it's very, very much founder focused, right? You can see that, congrats founder, that is the situations that you're facing right now. And if I'm a founder, right, I go to Gareth's website, I'll be like, yeah, this is really what I'm struggling with. And that is really like he's speaking directly to the founders, right? And if I'm a founder myself, then I see this kind of like situations for my company as well, right? Then when I'm looking for solutions, and that is how he sell it to me, right? He's like, hey, do you want to fix it? Do you want to fix it? I'm here to help you fix it. I help early stage startup, right? Like that is his whole message. He's like targeted to a particular group of audience, and that is why I think that he become very successful, right? Because he really speak to the client itself. So I think the market is like, how do you sell yourself to another person? How do you present yourself in a sales interview or conversation with the client or with a potential employer is super important, and that is exactly how do you want to present yourself, right? So I have to learn from it as well. So that is, like the concept about this entire video, right, is to really understand, what a business is, to really achieve a product market fit for your work, and then to think about how do you sell your work to other people. And that is like the whole gist about, being a successful designer. And that is really the concept or the general idea about this video, right? And that is all for it for now. And if you learned something from this video, definitely give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel as well, and follow me on the social media links down below, and just tell me what you guys want to hear about from me, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Cheers.